we heard a small, short passage from the Epistle of St. Paul to the Romans, and this short passage is very full of meaning and teaching for each one of us. Even Apostle Paul is addressing this epistle to the Christians converted from the Jews, and also to the Christians who were converted from the heathen and were living in Rome. This teaching is also very actual in this day for us who also are members of the church. The main idea of this short passage we heard today, brothers and sisters in Christ, is that God has no partiality with any one of us. For Him is not important, are we Jews or Greeks? Are we Romanian or Russian? Canadians or Ethiopians? That doesn't matter for Him, because He is not looking at us from where we are coming, or how we are looking, how we are dressed. The most important for Him is our inner world, our heart, what we have in our heart, in our mind. And Apostle Paul is starting to develop this idea, saying, peace, love, and honor be to all those who keep the commandments of Lord. Jews first and Greeks second. He is saying Jews not because Jews were prioritized, because they were special, but because people of Israel is that chosen holy nation who was chosen by God in old times to prepare, to receive the commandments and to prepare all the nations for the receiving of Messiah and His gospel. They were meant to prepare the background for Christ to come in this world. And that's why they are put in the first place. And Greek are put in the second place with this word that doesn't mean just Greek as a nations. Here he means all the heathen, all other nations who were living in the world at that time, and all of those heathen who even they haven't received the law of Moses, but they were living with fear of God. Either they were worshipping many gods. And we know that in every nation, even they didn't have 10 commandments as people of Israel, but they had main commandments, like do not kill, do not commit adultery, do not steal. So, and many others, do not take anything which belongs to your brother, do not commit anything wrong against your neighbor. So they also had these commandments written on the table of their heart. And Apostle Paul wants to emphasize this thing. He's explaining that it doesn't matter, either you have law as people of Israel or you haven't had the law as the heathen. That doesn't make you just before God, because everyone have sinned. Either those who received the law as the Jews, even those who haven't received the law as the heathen. But the law was necessary, as I mentioned, to prepare people for the receiving, for coming of Christ and for receiving of Him His holy gospel. Apostle Paul right away tried to destroy the priority of people of Israel, saying that you people of Israel believe that you have the law and you are special before God, but not hearers of the law are just before God, but those who do the works of the Lord. That's why the first verse was, blessed and peace be for all those who work good, either Jew first or Greeks, and Greeks second. So those who not just are hearers of the law, but also are the doers of the law are just before God. And also he's continuing developing this idea, saying that the Gentiles, they didn't have the law, but this law is inscribed on the table of their heart. And this law is manifested in their conscience, because this conscience either excuse them or accuse them. And we might ask the question, how come is this present in the heart of the heathen? Here we have to remember, brethren and sisters in Christ, that we are created according to the image of God. And this conscience is present in anyone, in any human being living on the face of the earth, of this earth. And again, Apostle Paul, in developing this idea, is saying those who sinned in the law will be judged by the law, because they knew the law. And in another place, Christ himself saying, the servant who knew the will of the master and didn't keep it will be beaten more than that servant who didn't know it. And those who didn't have the law, they will be judged in not according to the law, but according to their conscience. And Christ is, Apostle Paul is saying that when Christ will come at the end of the world, when the judgment of Christ will occur, Christ will judge the whole mankind according to my gospel. So this is not gospel of Paul. He's just the instrument in hands of God, of Christ. He's that apostle to whom Christ has preached the gospel to all mankind. And here, brethren and sisters in Christ, we as Orthodox Christians also have to be careful, because many of us believe that if I am baptized, that I am saved. But remember, also in the same epistle to the Romans, Apostle Paul is saying, not those who are circumcised are just before God, but those who have the circumcision of their heart, because Abraham, he received circumcision as a result of his righteousness. He was righteous before God, and that was considered before God, this righteousness of Abraham. And then he received the circumcision. The same as those who believe and will be baptized will inherit the heavenly kingdom. But those who do not believe, and he is not specified that, and will be baptized, will be condemned. This is the word of Christ in the Holy Gospel. So we gotta be careful with that. That not the baptism make us partakers of the heavenly kingdom. If we do not live the life according to the gospel, we have no chance to be saved. Not because Christ doesn't want to save us, but because we ourselves will not be able to approach Christ. Water and oil cannot be mingled together. Christ is the oil and we are the water. And what if the water is spoiled? How can that unify with God? So we will be those who will not be able to approach. Rather for us would be to be in the Hades. Just do not see the face of God, who is willing to save us. And the Hades is closed from inside, not from outside. Come out if you want. But what if I don't want? What if for me Hades is better than paradise? That is really awful, brothers and sisters. And let us be prepared and work our own salvation, not just by hearing the gospel of God, not just reading the Holy Gospel, but also by living and keeping commandments of Christ. That at the second coming of Christ, He might tell of us, come into my kingdom, the worthy servant. Amen. God bless you all, brothers and sisters.